camera looks close. Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. So glad to see everybody here this evening. I don't know if there's global warming or what, but it's in the 90s here in Colorado, up at around 7,000 feet. And we are, what was the politically correct term you would use for how warm it is in the house, Bookie?
I don't think I'm allowed to say.
You're not allowed to say. Let's assume that it wasn't, I can't even go there. Okay, so glad to see everybody here this evening. We are going to talk about saying yes. Yes to everything. Yes to, not yes, man. We're not talking about.
Is this guy saying yes?
This guy, well, this guy I found on the bike ride today. My cards. You don't need to see my cards, but I don't know if he's saying yes or not. But that's the best photo I got on today's bike ride, which is the first time we were talking about yes, but it is the first time in the history of Jessica knowing me that I said, yes, it is too hot. And I headed home on my bike ride. Humid in Grand Rapids. Wow. So I want to talk about raising your positivity, about being able to be not just a positivity magnet, but attract almost anything you desire into your lives. And it really does start with saying yes, but not exactly in the way you think. It's not about Jim Carrey, yes man, having to say yes to every opportunity or sleazy opportunity or strange thing out there. It's really about saying yes to yourself. And that's what we're going to be talking about this evening. We're also going to be talking about an amazing journey that Jessica and I shared earlier this week, which is, I think, part of why I'm told I must keep her off camera. We will see how this lasts. If not, it would not go very well. But she is a little bit fried. And she's a little bit fried because of what took place over the weekend. Before I go into the weekend, which is really going to dovetail into what we're talking about tonight, few key points. First off, we do have a few spots left for fall coaching. I'm amazed we still do. They're going to fill very fast. So if you're interested in fall coaching, then you want to come over to inspirenationshow.com/coaching and sign up for a free one-on-one strategy session with me today. Because I'm very surprised that we still have openings at this point. I don't know how long they're going to last. So you want to come on over to inspirenationshow.com/coaching, particularly shifting into September, shifting into the fall. I was talking about this. Oh, I wanted to grab Cheryl's book. Maybe when you get a chance, you can grab several of the books that are in the studio. I had on
several?
Well, all of the recent books.
Okay.
I like to have a stack and go through them. We had a beautiful interview earlier today where we were talking about anxiety. And one of the key, anxiety comes about frequently during transition. And I call fear and anxiety energy without deliberate motion. And when we're transitioning from August to September, something happens. We're not sure where we're going. We're not sure what we're doing. We're not sure why we're feeling the way we are. Unless we remember back to when we were about to go back to school, we may have been excited, we may have been nervous, we may have been terrified. And those emotions stay in us until adulthood. So as we transition from August to September, it's very, very common to feel exceptionally uneasy. And that's one of the things that I'm working with coaching clients right now is how to overcome that hump, that energetic hump, and actually use that energy for what I call deliberate motion, having focus on where they want to go so that we're not feeling stressed and anxious during this time, but we can actually use it as rocket fuel. So inspirenationshow.com/coaching if you're interested in a free one-on-one strategy session with me to see if coaching is right for you. Second, we're 100% supported by you, our audience. So if you want to support the show, come on over to patreon.com, patreon.com/Inspire Nation and become a Backstage Pass member. We put up lots of cool information, blog posts, Instagram kind of posts, behind the scenes information that you won't get anywhere else. And we're doing even better. We're starting to do better and better and getting you more and more posts. And I believe we will have another person on board. That is my guess here shortly. Ooh, what is that? You don't want to show us what just chinked?
There you go.
Oh, I can't show you, but I can show your bling. is this a big giant hunk of turquoise or what? Turquoise representing abundance, but we got this on Cape Carteret by Emerald Isle, which is right now exactly where Dorian, Mr. Dorian, Ms. Dorian, the hurricane is headed, is where we got this. So I'm going to put this back on you. Maybe we can use this to send Dorian out to sea without hurting anybody else. Go, go, go. Here we go. All right, so come on over to patreon.com and /InspireNation to support the show. iMeditations. Jessica, how close are we to getting iMeditations launched?
So close.
So close. How close is so close? And I'm still not allowed to turn the camera on you, am I? I'm going to edge close so you can, well, there's Meowsers.
Look, there's Mr. W.
Mr. W.
The teddy bear that
yes, there's Mr. W.
made a cameo.
And there's your hand.
That's my hand.
It's creeping closer.
What's going on?
It's creeping closer.
What's happening?
Should I stop right there?
So iMeditations could be live as soon as tomorrow.
Whoa. So if you come on over, particularly if you see this tomorrow, come on over to InspireNationShow.com and you can sign up there and you get a whole bunch of free meditations. This is Meowsers.
Look at his ears.
That Jessica is pointing at right now. She's
the other ear.
Outlining his ears and doing all sorts of untoward stuff. What are you doing there?
What? I'm petting.
All right, so we've got that. We've got iMeditations going live as soon as tomorrow, so you can come on over to InspireNationShow.com and get signed up for a whole bunch of free meditations, guided meditations, short, 3 to 10 minutes each, so you don't get bored, to keep your attention and help you get calm, centered, grounded, peaceful, and, as we're talking about today, attract more positivity into your life. Last, make sure that you subscribe below and click the notification bell so that you can find out about our next show. So make sure you subscribe below and click the notification bell. All right. So what were we doing on, was it Saturday? It's all a blur. Sunday, because it was Labor Day weekend. It felt like a Saturday.
We were on an epic hike.
We were on an epic hike, one of those 3-hour tours of Gilligan that just keeps going and going and going. And, there's a fly that landed on me. It's joining me for the journey. So we went out, my longest hike of this year was a little over 12 miles. We went out on something that looked like it was going to be about 19 miles round trip, up about 3,000 feet, though it felt more like 10,000 feet. We stopped on the side of, I guess technically it's a glacier or a tiny little snowfield. And I got to play in the snowfield up at about 12,000 feet. And we turned around to come back down. And this really has to do with saying yes. First off, we were saying yes to exploring and seeing what's out there. And I think it's important to get out of your comfort zone, to stretch yourself. And for those who don't know, I've had 2 near-death experiences. I have no ACL in my left knee, along with almost anything else. I've had 7 knee operations, 2 twin titanium femurs, left and right. Twin titanium pins are basically hips, left and right. And I'm kind of a medical miracle, so they say, at how much I can do, and I keep doing more, and I keep getting stronger and stronger. However, I crossed my threshold on this hike. I went further than my body desired.
Yep.
Nothing you want to say about that except for yup. Of course, we also went farther than Pookie's body wanted, and we ran out of water.
No. Well, yes.
Had we carried more water, your body may have gone further.
That's correct.
But at this point, you're stumbling around. I have a slightly swollen left knee.
You spent like an hour talking to Ranger Jerry.
Well, that's coming, actually. As we were heading down the hill, and this is it. This is what I'm talking to coaching clients about right now, is you can't cherry pick in life what is good and what is bad. And this is such an important concept to understand, because what we do is we say, it's a beautiful day. Thank you, God. It's a rainy day. God, where did you go? Why am I so forsaken? The point being It's all God. It's all good. Call it universe, source, giant cheeseburger in the sky. Call it the love within. It doesn't matter what term you call the energy that we're all made of, in my opinion. But we can't say one thing comes from source and the other thing doesn't. Maybe that rain is exactly what you needed, or maybe that rain refills the well, or maybe that rain keeps from there being forest fires or keeps the animals alive. And that is God. And so when we're out, or for coaching clients, this becomes particularly important because they come to me with positive stories, and that's all great. And then they come to me with quote unquote negative stories, and we don't understand that that is here to serve you too. In fact, when I was talking with today's guest, which Jessica brought over a few books, The Wisdom of Anxiety by Cheryl Paul, we were talking, she's very much into Jungian psychology, which is, we got a bird seed in there, which is the dream world is the waking world. What does that mean? Well, they're in signs and symbols and everything, even the quote, negative, is a gift. So we're on the way back. I'm starting to drag. We have to cross some debris fields from avalanches this spring, which were avalanches that this place hasn't experienced in hundreds of years, maybe in thousands of years. In fact, there was a ranger who was quoted in the paper as saying something to that effect. And we crossed over one of these debris fields, which actually has 10 or 20 feet of snow underneath us with pine needles on top of it and then broken tree logs at funny angles. And we actually run right into the ranger, Jerry Alp, if I have his name right, who was actually quoted in the paper. And he was hand sawing to clear the path for us. Totally our hero. And talk about positive karma. You do a good deed for people, and it comes back 10 or 100-fold. And he was clearing the trail for all of us, which is really cool. I did stop and talk with him, which was great because it gave my knee a chance to rest and recover, even though stopping meant that it was congealing or tightening up. We start going, and now...
Actually, I stopped to talk to him first because you were taking forever.
Ah, yeah. Shit. So I don't take the blame for this one, do I, Pookie?
Well, I was only planning on talking to him for like 5 minutes, and then you talked to him for half an hour.
So,
but he was super nice.
He was super nice.
Here's a photo.
All right, let's see if we can do this. Yeah.
Oh, you gotta...
There's Jerry right there. And he was so cool. And we did reward him, if that's the right term. We gave him our spare power bars, Lara bars, there we go, to try to feed him, to keep him going, because he looks so skinny, because he's been out there just sawing and sawing away.
I love this photo.
Which is this photo? This is like show and tell here.
It's like you're, I don't know, at a press conference and you're giving him an award, so you're shaking his hand.
I like it. Bear hugs would probably be more appropriate. So we stop, we talk with him. I congeal. We start going again. I am dragging badly. And we started to see crickets on the trail. Giant crickets. Do you have one with a smiley face?
They're all kind of smiley.
No. I mean, there are some close-ups of it, of the face.
Oh, sideways?
Nope. So front on.
Hold on. I'm looking.
Okay, so we start to run into crickets, and I start slowing down to take pictures of crickets. Why? Because I'm barely able to move, and the stopping is feeling better on my knee. Now, I could have been saying, why is this happening? What am I going to do? How am I going to make it back? Here's one of these giant crickets here. Well, that has the smile in it a little bit. And so there are these giant crickets on the trail. I'm stopping to look at them. And then we keep going. I actually grab an amazing picture of a butterfly and a bee as Jessica keeps going. We're going to do a little bit more show and tell here. And basically what I'm doing is I'm not forcing the universe. When we talk about saying yes, we're not talking about saying yes. We're talking about saying, woohoo, I will take it all in as it comes. Yes, Alice, Jiminy, cricket. And so we're taking it all in. I stop to take pictures of a butterfly and a bee. Well, that's not a bad one. Oops, hold on here. Oop, da, 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 da. There we go. That's the one I want. And we get this picture right here of a butterfly and a bee together. And what I'm really doing is I'm not fighting the experience. I'm absolutely taking my time and letting what come may. After this, though, Jessica keeps looking for crickets. And all of a sudden, I hear her screaming or calling to me. Do you remember what you said? I don't remember exactly what you said.
I don't remember, but I don't think I was screaming.
So, well, it wasn't like, yeah, anyway. It's something like, Michael. And I'm like, what? Like, did you step on a cricket? Is there something there?
I said, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a mole.
And there was the tiniest little mouse-like thing, like a quarter the size of a mouse, dragging itself with its front legs, falling over, tipping over onto its back, squirming around almost like a giant worm. This little baby creature that apparently had lost its mommy and come out of the hole and was starving and looking for food and water and overheating because it was like 90 degrees on the trail or better. And Jessica found him, and I scooped him up. And we're kind of delirious, dehydrated, hungry, and we're not sure what to do. And we're like, do we just throw it down any random hole here? And I'm going, that just doesn't sound right. And so we made the decision to carry him back. So here's the interesting thing. My knee was so swollen, I was in my head contemplating, it was just in my head, I wasn't actually going to do it. What would it take to get a helicopter in here to get me out? And how bad would that be? That's not something I ever would have done. I would have walked a foot an hour if I needed to get out. But I was feeling really, really bad because my knee was swelling. And then we end up picking up this little creature. And now I have something else to think about. And the funny thing is, when you're not working for yourself, when you're in service to someone or something else, your energy goes up to a new level. Now, I ended up going to prayer and saying, and God's my coverall term, God, thank you for giving, God, thank you for helping the mole in myself. God, thank you for helping the mole in myself, or something the equivalent to that. And I started feeling stronger and stronger. And instead of being able to make it 1 mile, I'm here going over debris fields, climbing over trees on the trail while carrying this little guy and having my hand open like this so that he would be able to breathe. I wanted to keep him warm, but not too warm.
And we had 5 miles to go.
We had 5 miles. Why don't you chime in? Do you mind if I turn this thing? Your nose is on camera.
Every time I turned around to look at you, you were actually smiling, which is surprising because you're in a lot of pain and you're in a very awkward.
I don't know how to run 5 miles without using my arms at all. And I had my arms up like this.
I mean, there are points where I had to like sit down and shimmy my way over fallen trees, and you just had to keep your hands here. You couldn't brace yourself. You had to keep your hands around this little. Did you tell them what it is yet?
No, I haven't told them. I was saying mole. It wasn't a mole.
All right. Anyway, you had to keep your hands around this little guy, and so you're taking these giant steps, which and on me that was bothering you. So yeah. I didn't know how you were doing it.
Prayer. And in fact, at one point you started to talk to me, or I started to talk to you. You started to talk back. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't really talk right now because I am in a place of prayer.
Here's a video of him walking down. Well, I don't know if you can see him smiling. It's in his hands.
And I could have milked the camera by showing you the little guy, but I didn't want to risk his life. You know, I'm just totally focused on getting him out of there. And so focusing, this is it. You can say that the knee was sore, bad, and why did you do that? Or you can say the knee is sore, good, because you went so slow, you had a chance to save somebody's life or something's life. Saying yes and putting yourself in a place of positivity is being open and receptive to everything that comes your way, to everything, not just, well, the knee feels great, I can keep running. Yes. Well, how about the knee feels bad? I'm going to have to drag myself out. Yes, too. Now, it doesn't mean I have to go as long next time. In fact, I get to recover from this. But it means being open to whatever comes your way. So we get ourselves down. We get ourselves off of this debris field. We get to the car. We tried to give it some water. That didn't seem to work so well. We didn't even really have any cool water to offer. This little guy
We took our hydration pack out, and it was like nearly empty. There were a few drops left, and we turned it upside down to see if it would drink some water pooled in your hand, but it was too young to do that.
It was too young. It needed to be, what do you call it?
It needed a dropper, like a tiny little...
Yeah, like a little syringe, or, I mean, basically, you know, a small mammal version of breastfeeding is what it needed. We managed to get it home. It was still alive. Woo, woo, woo. And miraculously, we had a syringe. Oh, we had a syringe in the car, and so you were trying to give it water in the car.
Yeah.
What are the odds of that?
So we had attempted to save baby mice a few months ago, and I had brought the mice to the vet, and one of the vet techs volunteered to take the mice home to try and save them.
Yeah.
And they were using this syringe with a very, very tiny opening, because that's what you need. And they said, well, we have plenty of these, so why don't you take this home with you for the next time you're trying to save baby mice? I'm like, I don't really plan on saving baby mice again, but okay.
And this goes right in it. You never know what's good and bad. Those mice we tried, the vets tried, they couldn't save them. And you think, oh, that experience bad. But then all of a sudden you have a syringe, oh, that experience good. When we don't pepper the experience, good, bad, yes, no, and we simply say yes as in I am open to the experience, magic comes.
Well, we bought all this stuff, all these supplies to try and save these baby mice from the pet store a few months ago, including some like, I don't know what it's called, some kind of kitten formula, like this powdered milk that you feed kittens.
Yep.
And we even had a heating mat that we hadn't used.
Yes.
And we waited too long, so we couldn't return any of this stuff.
I like that. We waited too long. We couldn't return. I went in there and the cashier was he was nice, but kind of sarcastic about me trying to return these things at this point. He's like, yes, we'll take anything back 30 days or less, knowing full well the receipt said it'd been right over that because we don't get out enough. But that's a whole nother story.
You're just not very good with returns.
I'm not, which is why I try not to be very good about purchasing things as well. So, but we thought that might be bad at the time, and then it turns out to be good as well. And so we get home. Well, you give a little water syringe to the little mammal. We get home and take it from there. And that's Meowser's idea, attempting to shred stuff in the background.
You mixed up the kitten milk.
Yep.
And we sucked it up into the syringe.
Yep.
And then I think you were holding it, and I was feeding it with the syringe, and it was lapping it up. So
we learned.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we learned, what is it?
A mole.
It's not a mole.
A vole.
It's a vole. It's the cutest little thing I didn't even know what a vole is.
Sorry. I named him Mole, even though he's not a mole. So
what is his full name now?
His full name is Nacho Mole Frisque.
I like it. I have a hard time with it, but I like it. And Nacho we are estimating because he opened his eyes yesterday.
So this was 2 days ago. And this was before he opened his eyes.
Yeah,
and yesterday he opened his eyes for the first time.
Okay, and so we might have pictures of that. And so we have been hand feeding him. Mainly, you have been hand feeding him. I've been helping in more of the pee and poo department of massaging his belly, as Mama would be licking his belly. I'm not going that far.
And this was taken today.
Oh.
His eyes are open, and he holds on to the syringe.
Those are his little paws holding on to the syringe. You never know what's good and what's bad. And if you say yes, if you're open to the universe, so we could have said, oh, well, we can't do this, we can't do that, why would we even try, blah, blah, blah. All stories of the mind. That would have dragged us down into a negative place. By saying yes and going, okay, this is crazy, but it feels right, I'm going to step forward. Saying yes to what feels right opens up doors. Who knows what's going to come of this? First off, I didn't know it was going to be in a show. Oh, you're going to show the little video here?
I didn't know if this video showed his face or not.
So you might have to show the video now that I spoke about it. What have you learned so far by saying yes to Nacho, by saying yes to Mole?
That any kind of baby causes you to lose sleep.
Okay,
even if it's not
true.
Not the same species.
This is very true.
Yeah, the first night we had the heating. We have a shoebox with lots of holes poked into the top of it.
Yeah.
And we put the heating pad inside with a towel.
And that box was actually from trying to save a bird that didn't work.
Yes.
We'll try to save anything. If you fall down in front of our place, you're coming home with us. We're bringing you in.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Box, holes in it.
Okay, yeah. So Mole needs to be at an average temperature of 90 degrees because he doesn't have the ability to regulate his own body temperature yet. And so through the night, I was constantly opening the box and checking the thermometer to make sure that he was at the right temperature. And then the next night,
you kicked him and me out of the bedroom.
Last night, he's been getting more and more energized and very frisky. So he was actually running around the box, making noise, and he made the classic scurrying mouse sound. And Meowsers was in bed, and exactly, Meowsers discovered there was something in the box, which he hadn't noticed the night before. So I had to bring him downstairs, and he slept in the studio with Michael with the door closed. And I went back to the master bedroom, and I had trouble sleeping because I kept thinking that I needed to go downstairs and check on Mole.
Of which I was checking on Mole every hour and a half like clockwork. Every REM cycle, I woke up, turned on the light, had Lovebug, who you see on the image here tonight on the thumbnail, had Lovebug outside of the door crying to get in to check on Mole. So I'm like sleeping like this myself. But I think there's just something incredibly positive to being open to what opportunities come our way. Can you speak to, since we're talking about saying yes to the universe, saying yes to everything, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but before we take questions, have you had experiences where you've been open to the universe and they've turned into positives when you weren't sure they would be at first, but you kept that energy? Doesn't mean that you didn't even have a negative moment, but you kept that energy in a positive place and things shifted for you.
Well, I didn't really want to go to the American Renewable Energy Symposium.
No, the first night you ran kicking and screaming pretty much from it. Actually, you went and hid upstairs in a coffee shop or a restaurant or something.
Yeah.
Going, not our homies.
No, I didn't say that. Anyway. Awkward. To me, I'll just do a little clarification, a little tap dancing. It seemed like it was kind of a small sciencey get together at first. Yeah, it seemed like a symposium for scientists and researchers, and I'm a scientist nor a researcher.
There.
And nothing against scientists.
No, not at all.
I just didn't think I'd be able to speak the language.
Gotcha. So that was the first night, and then what happened?
I don't know. I just felt like giving it another shot.
And what happened from it is what I'm going.
Hiding in the corner.
Okay. I feel like I'm pulling teeth here.
Yes.
It turned into an amazingly positive experience. I'm trying to get to the punchline. You said no at first, but it turned into something incredible.
Anyway, this is why I did not want to be on camera today.
It's all perfect. To go to another example. And we've used this before, so I'm only going to do the 10-second version of it. Years ago, we turned down Hay House and went with Random House for an amazing book deal. With Hay House, I was going to be on the You Can Do It, I Can Do It, Somebody Can Do It tour with Wayne Dyer, who's going to take me under his wing. And it was supposed to be this amazing experience. And Random House in a 10-publisher book bidding war way outbid Hay House and seemed like they had a better plan, better idea, better this, better that, better the other. And we went with, instead of going with my dream publisher, Hay House, we went with Random House. And everything crashed and burned. And for years, I was saying no. I was saying, no, why did I make this decision? No, bad Michael. No, stupid Michael. No, insert insults, Michael. How could you have made such a poor decision? But the trick is, and you may have experienced this, it was still a heart-based decision, and you have to respect that. I was pulled forward from the heart. But even if I wasn't, we can't cherry pick and say, well, if you went with the Hay House, that's a good decision, I'll put in quotes. If you went with Random House, that's a, quote, bad decision, and you're going to have to pay for that. All of it is learning. All of it is good. All of it is God. All of it is on path. And when you can make peace with those decisions, magic comes out of it. In our case, we didn't get to work with Wayne Dyer, which I do regret. We didn't get to be on the You Can Do It tour. However, the show came out of that, quote, negative experiences. All of our challenge and travails and opportunities came out of not having a success with Hay House. And quite frankly, we might have been stuck. We were writing books on barefoot running and barefoot walking. We might have been stuck in the barefoot world. No offense to the barefoot world, but I feel like we're doing something even more important right now. And we would have been pigeonholed in this world. Instead, when I was able to let go of the bitterness, let go of the anger, let go of the disappointment, let go of the inner hostility to myself, I think that was pulling us both down and saying, no, everything is perfect just as it is. Everything, everything, everything. The energy radically shifted. The show came about, and all of the magic that you see here tonight and on the shows on our Inspire Nation channel and on iTunes and on everywhere, and now we've got a book deal, and all of these things came about by saying yes from a place of kindness and compassion to myself and realizing that everything is here to serve us. And on that note, so we had on Cheryl Paul earlier today talking about the wisdom of anxiety. And she has 4 strategies for anxiety that I think can dovetail perfectly with tonight's topic, which is saying yes and bring yourself to a positive place. Which is when you see an event, positive, negative, whatever you want to call it, label what's going on. So if we go to this event with this situation with, we'll go to the situation with Random House and Hay House. I made a decision that meant the book didn't do well. 2 books, both crashed and burned. So I can label it, say, okay, my decision led to a crash and burn. But without judgment, without saying I'm stupid, the fact is we had the #1 bestseller on exercise and fitness on Kindle for 9 months running. Random House picked it up and it went to 0. Okay, it's a crash and burn. I have labeled it. The next thing that I can do, so no, step #1, name it. Step #2, have compassion. All right, Michael, you made a decision that didn't pan out the way you expected. I know based on your parents and your parents' parents, you want to say that you screwed up. But if you accept, if you say yes to the universe, if you say yes to everything, then for some reason this happened for your highest good, even though we may not know why. But I also know, Michael, that you're in a lot of pain right now. And that's what's most important to me. And yes, you can literally talk to yourself in this third person. And so you can say, it's okay, Michael. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And have compassion for yourself, no matter the circumstance. So you've named it. You've labeled it. This helps get it off of your desktop. It makes you lighter. It's already going to raise your vibration, raise your energy up. You have compassion for yourself. Now you're no longer stuck in the muck, in the mire. Your energy is coming up even further. And now we can go to silence, go to stillness. So name it, compassion and stillness. Can I step back from my decision? Can I see what can come from this? Can I simply give it space? Because when you don't give something space, you're grabbing on tightly, whether that's a person, whether that's a job, whether that's your finances, your bank account, the few dollars you have left, your home, whatever it is, you're holding on so tightly. You don't give yourself a chance to heal, a chance to recover, a chance for it to breathe and take in oxygen and to allow the universe to bring you anything else. I basically look at it this way. When you go to a place of stillness, you give the universe a chance to chase you down with an or something better, rather than you trying to push the stone uphill or chase the universe down. So we go to a place of stillness. And then the last step in saying yes to anything and healing from anything is going to a place of gratitude. And that's what I did. It took me, this was a whole grief process for me, going from Random House or Hay House to Random House and watching the books tank. There was a whole grief process. But when I could get to a place of gratitude, going, I don't know why this happened. I don't know why I was pulled and called for this to happen, but there had to be a reason for it. And I am going to give thanks, even though I don't know why, because I don't believe there's almost a more positive energy in the universe than gratitude. When you do that, your positivity goes up to the max and you are open for anything to come your way. Name it: compassion, stillness, gratitude. These are great tips. They're from Cheryl Paul talking about the wisdom of anxiety, but they apply perfectly when it comes to saying yes, steps for saying yes to whatever comes your way. So with that said, I want to open it up to some questions now. I want to say yes to questions and see what we have here. And then I'm going to be working after this to say yes to getting somebody on board to help us with our YouTube channel for taking it to the next level. This has been a challenge for us. I think we hired 3 people a couple weeks ago, and then we already lost 2 people as the universe helps cull out those who don't work for us and helps bring us those who do. But we can't say, oh no, this is bad, this is good, but this is bad, bad, bad. It's all here to serve us on some level. It's all teaching. It's all guidance. So on that note, speaking about all, do we have any questions or any questions from you?
I just wanted to make a comment about the hiring process. We talked to one of our mentors yesterday on the phone.
Yeah.
And she was a director in this.
May I turn this toward you or no?
No. I'm too tired.
This has been nights of being up with Nacho Mole Frisque without being able to get any sleep.
Anyway, she's retired now, but she has had a lot of experience hiring employees. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, what you can do is have like a 2 or 3 week trial to see if things work out. And that's actually what accidentally happened. But had we gone into it thinking, okay, this is a trial period, it may or may not work out.
Actually, the letter that I sent one person in the beginning was a trial period. Mm-hmm. We were learning. Oh, there's a fly.
Yeah, I thought you smushed him.
Nope. Fly is okay. No flies are injured. He keeps on flying away and coming back to this very spot. So I figure for the duration of this, he is home.
My point is, like, the ups and downs that we experience emotionally have a lot to do with our expectations being met or not met. Now, had we gone in thinking from the very beginning, everyone's going to be on a trial period and someone not working out, we would have been like, oh, well, it was just a trial period.
Yeah. And that adjusting our expectations, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's everything. That is saying yes. That is allowing without attachment whatever comes. And if you can truly live without expectation, doesn't mean that you don't strive. It doesn't mean that you don't have wants and desires, but you let go of how it turns out. I think you're free. You're focused on the little fly.
The fly is actually cleaning itself.
Oh, it feels very comfortable there. We are not, I don't know if you can see that. We don't subscribe to the killing of just about anything here at Inspire Nation. if at all possible. All right. Anything else on that, or should we look for some questions?
Yes, we have questions.
Excellent.
From DC. Hi, Michael. Do you have any answers for people that have tried absolutely everything to manifest? Meditation and prayer too, to change their lives and can't seem to manifest even a cup of coffee.
Aha. Brilliant question, DC. So, DC, you got some blocks. I say that laughingly and lovingly, and we all have blocks, and I've had many blocks myself. And those blocks could be the kind that are energetic blocks, like we need to use a motion code. If I was coaching you, I'd be using all sorts of different clearing techniques on you and using EFT tapping. It could be those kind of blocks, or it could be the kind of blocks that are blocks out of fear and anxiety, where it's easier for your subconscious to stay where it is than for you to step forward. And this is often the case. And this isn't a blame or shame thing where I'm saying, well, you're just not wanting to step forward. No, what I'm saying, your ego may be terrified out of its mind due to past experiences in this lifetime, due to past experiences from your past lifetimes or from your parents or their parents' parents. But there are reasons you're not able to step forward or able to attract in anything. Although I would say, DC, you attracted in this show. So you may not be as bad at manifesting as you think. It may be a subtle or not so subtle turn of the dial, but also of the internal languaging of how you are speaking to yourself. So, beautiful book by Cheryl Paul. I keep pimping this out tonight. The Wisdom of Anxiety. She talks about getting past your blocks, your stopping points where you are preventing yourself from manifesting. And Kyle Cease, and I know we have a gentleman who asks each week about how he earns $1 billion. This is a book to help get you there. The Illusion of Money by Kyle Cease is phenomenal for helping you to recognize that your problem isn't money and it isn't manifestation. The problem is your relationship to your greatness, or what you feel on the inside you are allowed to have, to be, and to attract into your life. And I couldn't agree more with Kyle. We find those blocks. Okay, let's look at it a different way. There are two versions of yourself, two operating systems going on. Was it DC or is it?
Yeah, DC.
Two versions of your operating systems, DC. You have your conscious operating system, which is I deserve, I can manifest, I'm great, I'm worthy, show me the money. That's the conscious version of your operating system. However, that's about 10% of what's going on. You have your 90% of your operating system that's in competition that says, you've never done it before, you don't deserve it now, here's why you don't deserve it, here's why you're not going to get it. And those operating systems are in argument, or would it be discongruency, non-congruency? They are not congruent with each other, and the subconscious often wins. So going back to coaching here, what I help people do is ferret out what is that subconscious operating system that is designed in a sense to keep you safe and help integrate the two of them. So you'll hear a lot of people talk about you want to push away your ego, you want to squash your ego, you want to silence your ego, you want to get rid of your ego. No, your ego is you. You want to integrate it, but you want to integrate it at a higher level. You want to say yes to your entire self. This has to do with going right back to name it, have compassion for it, have stillness, have gratitude. Even have gratitude that you haven't manifested yet, because DC, maybe what you manifested would have been not for your highest good. Heck, if we had manifested working with Wayne Dyer and we were one signature away, wow. Had we manifested that, we might be the barefoot king and queen today. How's that sound, Pookie?
Sounds like a really great way to build a foot fetish fan club.
Oh, goody. And we love everyone, and we will say yes to that too, but we really don't want to go out and build that. So DC, we get to love yourself up no matter what. We get to practice. Pam Grout has a book, I think E Squared, from a good decade plus ago, where she talks about 9 or 10 different manifestation experiments. That's a great place to start. We get to look at removing energetic blocks. That's important. We get to look at, and we teach an amazing technique called automatic writing. I can't recommend it enough. We use it every single day. Yes, we're not only the presidents, we're the clients as well. Thank you, Cy Sperling of Hair Club for Men. But automatic writing has changed our lives, and we get to go in each morning and say, where are these blocks coming from? What can I learn from these blocks? Why can't I manifest? And how is even this here to help serve me? This is saying yes to everything. The funny thing is, when you let go of that attachment of I'm not a good manifester, I'm not able to attract in, and you say, well, maybe I'm a great manifester in latency. It's just coming to me later, but I'm open. All of a sudden, you're not forcing and striving and pushing against the universe, and things can come your way. So if I had to do with where to start with this, but DC, because I have given you so many places, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say go to automaticwriting.com. It's like $97. Get the program. Start writing to your higher self each day and ask higher self, what do I get to learn from this? And then say, higher self, where do I start with clearing work? How do I move past this subconscious block? How do I be even more loving, kind, and gentle to myself through this process? Beautiful, beautiful question, DC. Send all our love your way. What's the next question we have?
Next question is from Romy, who says, I self-sabotage myself. When something goes great, I say that's too good to be true. What can I do about that?
Oh, too good to be true. Romy, this is an exact situation of having two operating systems going on. You have the one operating system that says, I deserve greatness, I deserve love, I deserve abundance, I deserve happiness. You have another operating system that goes, hogwash, that's not what I deserve. And so when you do get the happiness, the joy, the abundance, or any of those things, your operating system says that's too good to be true. That's not what you deserve. It's not in congruence. It shouldn't have happened. So Romy, what we need to do is ferret this out. I would start by writing about it each day. I would also add in EFT tapping, where I'm literally tapping each morning, going after whatever negativity is in there, and literally getting up and saying, all right, what are some positives? Write about that, do some automatic writing, and say, all right, what do I feel like is holding me back today? Or if I sense in my body, what am I feeling? I'm feeling fear, I'm feeling anxiety. All right, where am I feeling that? Well, I'm feeling that in my gut today. And so, Romy, you go, okay, I'm feeling fear in my gut. Let me breathe into that. In fact, it's a Tonglen, it's a technique that we talked about in today's show. Pema Chodron teaches it. It's a Tibetan Buddhist monk technique. Breathe in the discomfort. So breathe in the anxiety and fear in your gut. Then breathe out love. Breathe in that fear and anxiety, and send out love. And you repeat this and start to ask, what is this fear here to teach me? Where is this anxiety coming from? Well, I'm afraid if I actually step into my greatness, then I'm going to need to get a new job, and that's going to be scary as crap. I'm going to need to get a new home. That's going to be scarier than heck. I'm going to need to be new friends. Are you kidding me? You're going to find out where the fears and concerns are coming from, or you could literally have a flash of insight of oh my God, my family stood out when they were living in another continent, and half of them got slayed for their greatness. Holy crap, where did that come from? But as you lean into your blocks, they will begin to make themselves apparent. They will begin to teach you things, and they will begin to pop. So that is where I will start, Romy. So tap each morning, find a negative, tap on the negative, do a round with the negative, and then replace it with a positive. So if the negative is, I'm not deserving of abundance, then you can tap, I love myself fully and completely, even though I'm not deserving of abundance. Go through all of your 8 different points, which I share on most shows. And then do a second round of tapping where you go, I am worthy of abundance. I am abundance. I'm surrounded by love. Money is just another form of energy. I'm an energy creator. I'm an incredible manifester. I can manifest anything I desire. I deserve abundance. I deserve wealth. I deserve happiness, and start to reprogram your subconscious by tapping on the positives after you've tapped on the negatives. All right, beautiful, great, beautiful question, Romy. And you've been here for so long. I want to give everybody, but I want to give you a giant hug and help support you on your journey. All right, who do we have that's next?
Next we have Tammy, who asks, what is your advice for when you try to commit to something for, say, 30 days and things always get in the way to keep you from doing it?
Oh, that is a brilliant question, Tammy. So we get to talk about blocks, and I guess there are really two types of blocks. There are blocks that are, I guess, steering and testing. Steering, which is doors keep closing, we get to go a different direction. And blocks that are, those are steering. Blocks that are testing, that are seeing if we're truly committed to something. So if you have a 30-day test and you've written out a promise to yourself, and I would put in writing, I am going to hang in there with this no matter what. I'm going to take this as seriously as marriage. We're in a culture where 70% of marriages end in divorce. I'm going to take this even more seriously. I'm going to commit to this no matter what. And you write out, make a contract with yourself, why this is so important to you, and you set yourself up for success. So if, for example, I'm committing to no sugar in the house, and if I opened up a cabinet and it's filled with, I don't know, Hostess cookies and every other sort of the munchies, then when you start this 30-day commitment, you need to go get a wheelbarrow, throw everything from your cupboards in the wheelbarrow and dump it so you can set yourself up for success. That's a test from the universe. It's seeing how serious you are. If you're really serious about the commitment, set yourself up for success. But then if doors keep slamming closed on yourself, ask yourself, am I in alignment with this? That's where we got into automatic writing toward our end of our stay on Maui, is because doors kept slamming closed on us. And Michael, I'm knocking on my head for a reason, kept on trying to bash the doors back open with my hard head, with my thick skull, until I was willing to go into writing and ask, where are these blocks coming from? Another way that you can look at this, and while I'm really pushing for automatic writing tonight because it's so powerful to help you see what's going on in your life, you can simply ask yourself, is this light, Tammy? Is this heavy? Now, that doesn't mean there aren't challenges. If you're making a 30-day commitment, then you're trying to make great change. And there is a challenging energy with it. But you can still ask if this is light or heavy. So how does this feel to you? If the doors keep closing, but you still feel like you want to do it, you feel this pull in your heart, then you keep going no matter what. If the doors keep closing and it just feels like it's pulling you down, that's a heavy energy, and maybe you're out of alignment and it's not right for you. So these are questions that Jessica and I ask ourselves on a daily basis. iMeditations has taken quite a while to come out, but I've never felt that it was heavy. I just felt like it's a lot more work than we expected. I'm going to barge into your subconscious, was just busy reading things here.
Okay.
We're talking about light versus heavy, and when to know if something is steering versus when to know if something is stop. And I'm using the example of iMeditations because to me, there were a lot of blocks. We couldn't get it done in 30 days, but it never felt heavy. It never felt wrong. It just felt like we had to allow into it. I'm talking about the concept of light versus heavy.
Right. Well, there are other things that were presenting themselves. So it just felt natural to prioritize other things first.
I like how you said that, felt natural. So it wasn't like you were feeling like there are blocks from the universe stopping you on your path.
Correct.
And that's a key consideration, is to weigh in. Is it feeling like walls are coming up, or is it feeling like I get to say yes, even if it's not working out in the way I expected, and to keep stepping forward? So brilliant, brilliant question, Tammy. I would say the last thing on this for you, Tammy, is if you go into another 30-day challenge, first off, know why you're doing it. Secondly, make a contract with yourself. And I like sharing it with the universe, putting it out there with everybody. And then third, set yourself up for success. If it's, for instance, a challenge to get yourself up in the morning at 4:30 or 5 every day, then you better have 10 or 20 alarms at night going off to make sure you get to bed. Because no matter what, Tammy, nothing should be a game of willpower, because willpower doesn't work. Instead, it has to be, how can I set myself up to get in the flow? Never should be about how hard can I ride myself, how can I push myself, how can I drag myself along. That's out of alignment. Instead, what can I do to make this so easy I can't help but tripping over success?
And when you're dragging yourself along, there's a cost that you pay. If not immediately, then it comes further down the road and you might end up sick or whatever, burnt out.
Yeah, I call it the shred zone, and it's a very good point, which is everything comes from somewhere. Yes, it's an unlimited universe. Yes, we can manifest everything. But as long as we're still incarnate and in these bodies, if you say, I am going to fight with everything that I have, danger right there, to make this goal, you might make the goal and blow apart a dozen other things. Or you might make the goal, if your goal is, I'm going to withhold, and I hate withholding anything, specifically for withholding purposes. I'm going to withhold my favorite food or these foods or whatever for 30 days, no matter what. It's great. You made it to 30 days. Come 31, here comes the binge party, because you were out of flow and you were forcing it, versus finding a kind and gentle way. This comes into naming, this comes into compassion again, a kind and gentle way to instead achieve your goals. Got time for a few more questions here.
Simply Faye writes, Michael, based on your personal life experience, you're an expert when it comes to major life comebacks. How do you make a comeback? How do you begin to rebuild your life from bottom to top?
Wow. Simply Faye, that is a beautiful question. And for those who don't know, I don't know if I'm version Michael 3.0 or 4.0 or what version I am. I have had several near-death experiences or very substantial accidents and lots of fun titanium parts. And we've also had to rebuild our business 2, 3, 4 different times. I'm going back to my accident, so bear with me for a second here. There is a choice, Simply Faye, that gets to be made. And if that choice is to come back, you will find a way, period. If that choice is instead, poor me, woe is me, why did this happen to me? That's the result you're going to get as well. So you have to flip a switch, Simply Faye, that says, I can and will come back from this. I was 10 years old when I had my first, I'd say, substantial accident. Even when they wheeled me in the emergency room, they said, what is it now, Michael? They knew me at the hospital on a first name basis, but I'd broken my left knee, my left arm, and done who knows what else, which turned into, I guess, 6 different operations, a hole where my ACL used to be, no meniscus or almost any part in my knee that is supposed to be in there. And I was told, you'll never be able to run. I was told, you're going to be so arthritic, you'll be lucky to walk by 18. And they actually showed me the x-rays with the quote arthritis on it to show me why I was going to be limited in what I could do. We're talking 30 decades later, more than that later, and I do run. Okay, on the 19-mile one, I struggled, but I have had my fastest runs in a good decade in many ways over the last month or two. And they said it would never be possible. What did I learn from that? I learned it's up to me. It's up to the decisions I make. I took myself at 11 years of age, and I took myself to the gym with the adults and said, I don't have any parts left in my knee. I better use the muscles to get it strong. Since I don't have the ligaments, the tendons, the whatever is supposed to be there, I'll use something else. Up, over, around, under, through. There is a way if you make that decision. But then don't ask for it all at once. Have humor. Laugh at yourself. Have, not deadpan humor, have bedpan humor. I am so sorry, Pookie. have bedpan humor when that's all you've got to work with. Laugh at where you're at. Know that things will absolutely get better. Really know it. They will get better. We never stay in status quo. And until the moment we're gone, there's a chance for them to get better. And since I'm a very spiritual guy, know that the moment you're gone, they're getting better too, because it's just a doorway. You went through one tunnel into this world, you go through another tunnel back out of this world, you go through another tunnel back in this world, constantly expanding, growing, learning, and treasuring and experiencing each moment. Even as I can't tell you the number of times I've had to learn quite literally to re-walk over again. But if you choose it, you can have it. Just take it kind and gently and as compassionately and without judgment and as loving for yourself as you possibly can. All right, time for, I think, 2 more questions. We'll be wrapping things up at the bottom of the hour here.
We have about 2 more questions. I'm going to ask this question.
Brilliant questions. Sorry, I want to interrupt. I want to just thank everybody for your brilliant questions. Love them, love them, love them.
I'm asking this question before another one. It's out of order, but hopefully you can answer it quickly. DC asks, along with that same question, did you face any depression after your accidents?
Oh, heck no. Oh my God, yes, DC. Actually, bigger than depression was 2 things that I faced. Because I did face situational depression. I mean, when you're down 4 or 5 quarts of blood, and you don't have the energy to raise your head quite literally off of the pillow, that's a situational depression. I never felt a hopeless depression. I did after I was racing bicycles in France, 93, I think it was, trying to make it to the Tour de France. Went through a little French town called Beauville, come through a blind term, and people are going, les Americains, allez-y, and they're waving with the safety officials waving with his wand to bring me through the turn. And an elderly woman had come up an alley with her full-size Peugeot, gotten out onto the course and hit me broadside. Everybody going, allez, allez, ooh. And that ended my career right there. And it gave me incredible PTSD where I would literally close my eyes for years. And there I would be getting hit by the car again. I would feel the bed sheet against my fracture spot, and it'd be burning from the nerve injury there. And I would be back having the accident again. And so I had fear and anxiety for years until I figured it out, or actually until I, DC, was awake enough, aware enough. You guys are all awake and aware. If you're watching this, you have so much more awareness than I ever did at the time. I was sleepwalking through my PTSD, and I'm labeling it. There's no such thing. It's all along a spectrum. But I was sleepwalking through this without looking for how I could heal. Once I could figure that out, it all changed. Still had fear and anxiety to work with, and a roller coaster of emotions also driven by blood sugar, which thank God I got under control, or Jessica wouldn't be with me today. But I was able to see a light at the end of the tunnel. I was able to know that I am not my chemistry. So brilliant, brilliant question, DC.
Okay, Lori's question is next.
Okay.
She's been very patient. Just joining in, newbie here. What's the idea behind doing the tapping with the positive self-talk?
Oh, that's a brilliant question, Lori. So, and we'll wrap up on this. And I don't know if I can quite do a round of tapping with everybody. Although we're starting a One Mind Earth program. We're going to bring millions of people together. We're all going to meditate as one. We're going to see if we can raise consciousness together. Super, 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 super excited about this program. I'm mentioning to you because we are going to need some very high level organization volunteers to help literally bring together millions of people. We are going to need a very high level web designer or more to design our One Mind site where we can get millions of people together. So I'm mentioning that because the more I mention things, Jessica and I are incredible manifestors. You are too, in latency. It's there inside of you. We're all source, we're all God, we're all this energy. But I mention this to help to attract those people in, just the right people, to build our One Mind program so that we can literally shift consciousness on the earth. With that said, going back to your question, tapping. Tapping is the concept. This is my lay description of it. And we've had on Dr. Dawson Church on tapping. We've had on Nick Ortner on tapping. We've had on Jessica Ortner on tapping. I can't recommend. I love each of them. And each of them has a different way of doing tapping. I recommend all of them. Tapping is a way that you take a very positive statement, such as, I love myself fully and completely, and you combine it with a very negative statement, even though I feel like I always screw up. That alone helps cancel each other out. Very positive. I love myself fully and completely. That fly has come back. That's so cool. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel I'm a complete screw up. That alone helps cancel it out. And then we go and tap on one of 8 or 9 different acupressure points, which go into the subconscious and actually act on the autonomic nervous system. Actually, in this case, the parasympathetic part of the autonomic nervous system, help creating a rest and relax response. Basically, in my lay terms, shorting out the negativity. So what I do is I have people look for the most negative statement, the most grisly, the most awful statement, the statement that on a 0 to 10, 0 being no discomfort at saying the statement, 10 being a level of discomfort that's unbearable. I want these things at a 10, and then I have them tap on 8 different points. And then I have them, if we knock that down to a 2 or 3, then I have them tap and replace it with positives. This doesn't just work for fear, for anxiety, for all sorts of emotional blocks and hang-ups we have. It even works on pain, because whether that's a stomach pain, whether that's a knee pain, a foot pain, a neck pain, a back pain, the pain that we have is always in a feedback loop. There is the physical pain, and then there's the fear and anxiety over where did this physical pain stem from, and will it ever go away? And so you could literally tap on, I love myself fully and completely, even though my knee is killing me. And you do that and you go through a whole round, and all of a sudden your knee pain, which was at an 8 or 9 and you felt like checking yourself into a hospital, still there because the pain's the pain, but it's at a 2 or 3 because you don't have the feedback. So I'm going to run through this just a sample very, very, very quickly. I'm using screw up for a particular reason. And that is because that is one of my gifts, part of my wiring. I say yes to my, quote, screw up gene, to that part of me that drives me and pushes me and rides me like a wild orangutan on my back as far as an ego goes, and says, Michael, you are less than. Michael, you are not good enough. Michael, when will you get your act together? And between you and me, still does that to this very day, although it's lost almost all of its power. And that's what we're doing. So I'm going to do a really quick round with you. If you are struggling with feeling like you are less than, you might benefit from this as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through it as if I was doing it for myself, but you can tap along, right along with me. So the expression, the phrase that we're going to use is, and I'm going to type it in here, I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a screw up. Even saying that starts to get my nervous system going. All right, are you ready? So here we go. Fly, are you? Oh, the fly has now flown away. We'll see if he comes back during the tapping. All right. And so we're going to go over the 8 different points. This is the karate chop point. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete and total screw up. I love myself, and you can say this in your head, fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. Now up in between the eyes, I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. If as you're tapping, you feel like you're about to cry, stay on that point and keep working on it until it pops outside of the eyes, and keep breathing deep in and out through the nose. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely. Keep breathing deep even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. Center just beneath the eyes. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. Keep breathing deep through that nose. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. Center beneath the nose, halfway there. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. Center of the chin, keep breathing deep in and out through the nose, down to the belly. It's easy to tighten up and hold your breath here. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. You're doing great. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. Now, chest or thymus about an inch apart from where your collarbones come together. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. Now, this last one, I call this wings 2 to 3 inches below your armpits. Hard not to laugh with this one. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. I love myself fully and completely, even though I feel like a complete screw up. Chances are, if you have the screw up gene like I did, you feel a bit lighter, a bit better. Now, I'm watching the fly, just came back. I'm gonna have to name this little guy. Now, nature abhors a vacuum. After you have removed the negative, or if you've gone from an 8, 9, or 10 down to say a 2 or a 3, and actually 2 things. If it's not down to a 2 or 3, go do another round. If it's down, or not down for that matter, and you found, wow, it's not so much that I'm a screw up, I'm so freaking mad and upset with myself because of X, Y, or Z, then come up with a new phrase and go after X, Y, or Z. Then when you're down to that 2 or 3, good job, Romy. When you're down to that 2 or 3, flies back. Now let us replace that vacuum with something positive. And I got to give Jessica Ortner amazing credit for this, because she wrote some beautiful books, at least one beautiful book, I believe several beautiful books, on different phrases and statements you can use to replace that. Basically, I call it like wiping out the groove in a record, while now carving a new groove into the record. I'm just going to do this free form here. You can do this free form as well, or you can write something down in advance and repeat it out loud to yourself. Here, we're going to tap through points a lot faster and wing it. Let the universe come to you. See what inspires you. See what you want to fill that space with. So here we go. I am loved. I am supported by the universe. Everything I do is right on track. Everything I do is a yes. I have angels and guides by my side. I am loved. I am supported. I am always on track. I am filled with love of the universe. I am filled with joy of the universe. I am filled with incredible energy and positivity of the universe. I am right on track. I am right on track. I am right on track. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. I am loved. I am love. I am love. I am free. I am light. I am on track. I am on purpose. I am great. I am love. I am source. I am a part of God. I am a part of the universe. I am a child of the universe. I am a child of source. I have the most amazing energy. I have the most amazing gifts. I have the ability to turn my life into whatever I desire. Everything I do is right on track. Everything I do is good. Everything I do is for my highest good. Everything I do is for the highest good of all. I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. I am free. I am free. I am free. Woohoo! How do you feel? So that's a brief illustration of tapping. Jessica, was there anything that you wanted to share, or video or something that you wanted to share with people? You're tapping on the phone there. If not, no worries at all.
There are actually a couple of questions about coaching and pricing.
Okay, real briefly, and if you are interested in coaching, awesome, come on over, because we got just a few openings left. InspireNationShow.com/coaching. What are the questions that we have?
One question was, what is your starting price?
Okay.
And the other question was, where can we find more information about pricing?
Okay. So starting price is the minimum that we have, and we work in packages so that we build momentum, build ahead of steam, and we build packages that are right for you. Is $650 a month, and they go up from there. More specifics on pricing is something that let's meet. If you're interested in this, let's meet and talk about and see if there is an option that works for you. I'm like the Mr. non-salesy guy out there, but I want to see if we're a match, and if we're a match, what works for you? Is it an every other week? Is it a weekly program? How much do we space these out? How much assistance do you need? And so you can have a free one-on-one strategy session with me simply by going over to InspireNationShow.com/coaching. I know this. I'm really good at 2, maybe 3 things in life. Maybe it's athleticism. Maybe it's family and being a good hubby. 1, I'm really great at interviews. 2, I'm really good at changing people's lives far beyond anything that I ever imagined. And I say that with all the humbleness and love that I can bring to bear. I can help you shorten the learning curve on your life. I can help you get unstuck. And people, they come to me, they come with one area of life that they want to work on, whether that's health, whether that's finding their purpose, whether that's with a relationship, and or certainly stress, anxiety, and PTSD kind of things. Although I'm not a counselor, I don't pretend to play one on TV. I'm not going to have you kick your feet up on the couch and say, tell me about your childhood. But I will get at your energetic blocks. I love to meddle with those. But we take one area that we start with, and we end up looking at the entire area of your life and leaving no stone unturned, so that in 3 or 6 months, or there's some clients who I'm gifted or lucky enough, I love this. So I'm gifted or lucky enough to work with them for a year. Your entire life changes, and you do come out stronger, more powerful, more awake, more aware, healthier, more observant of what's going on. I love to get in, although Jessica hates me saying it, and help you to rewire your mind. I become a worm in your mind, helping you catch the negative thoughts and help you relink things and help you remove negative patterns that keep you stuck, keep your mind dwelling, keep you from living your greatest life, because the energy is pulling you down. And I do a lot of clearing. EFT tapping is just one of dozens. We've had over 1,000 guests on the show. The number of tools that I have in my tool bag is huge, but I can help you to find those energetic blocks, whether they're from you, whether they're from your family, wherever they come from, and help you to get lighter, and then give you the accountability that you need. The trick with self-help is we're given all of these amazing tools, but then which tool do I use when? And if Michael's saying use this tool, and if Nick is saying use this tool, and Dawson's saying use this tool, and the next guest is this tool, and Cheryl this tool, and Kyle this tool, you're going, oh my God, and you're overwhelmed. And A, you don't know where to start. B, your ego starts clicking in and telling you why you're not worthy. And C, you don't have a routine in place to get things done. So I help you baby step your way in, find the best tools for you, and get you into flow. I never help you work harder. I never help you to work smarter. I'm always going to be, how do I get you onto the raft, the kindest, gentlest raft, get you out into the kindest, gentlest river, and help you to flow downstream to your greatest self. In that sense, you could say Tony Robbins is kind of the young. We got to do this. We got to push. We got to make massive change. It's Tony. I love you, Tony. Tony helped me dramatically on my journey. However, that's a very push that stone uphill approach. I take a kind, gentle, easy, good. How easy can we make this? How gentle can we make this? How heart-oriented can we make this? And how much can I help you dial down all the competing voices in your mind? Just like if you did this tapping, then your voices probably went down and you felt lighter. How can I help you dial down the voices in here and crank up the inner wisdom in here? So if you're interested, I would be honored to speak with you, to share with you more about pricing, to let you know how it works. But I want to know what you've got going on. I want to know why you want to work with me. I want to know where you want to get to. And because I'm extremely picky about who I choose, that doesn't mean you're not worthy. I want to make sure that if I lead this horse to water, you want to drink. Because if you are saying you want to move forward, but you don't want to move forward, the best I can do is point that out to you. But that's a heartbreak for both of us. If you're saying, Michael, I want it so badly, I just don't know how to get there, but I want it. I don't remember if it was DC or who earlier, if it was Mary, who said, I want to manifest, I just can't figure out how. It doesn't seem to be working. I will help you figure that out, and we'll get past those blocks, and I'd be honored to do so. All right, Jessica, any last things that you wanted to add, or you have Super Mole here, yes, also known as Junior?
Video of Nacho Mole Risque.
Oh my God, so cute. Now, just like any little baby, getting them to sit down to eat takes a small act of God initially, doesn't it? Oh, he's quite the burrower too.
Yay.
Ooh. Oh, and now we're back to energy. Every hour and a half to 2 hours right now, it is such a labor of love. Are you enjoying it?
I am. It's actually feeding time again.
It's feeding time again? I want to see you say that I am again. I don't know if we can catch on this part, but are you enjoying it?
Yes.
She has such a mama bird energy to her. Last picture of the evening.
Well, for those of you who tuned in late, this was Mole 2 days ago before he opened his eyes.
And that was after we rescued him on the trail. You are filled with goodness. You are filled with greatness. If there is one thing that I can impart to you, and I'm almost in tears here, is that each of you, no matter what your ego is telling you, really, no matter what your ego is telling you, you are worthy, you are good, you are great, you are God, you are source, you are energy, you are magnificent, you are transcendent. You have no idea how much greatness inside of you. Each of us is a rose on the bush. No better, no worse than any other. No more beautiful, no less beautiful. We are each a piece of one mind, of source, of God. And we can all tap into that. And if you go, but I haven't tapped into it, but I, that's the ego telling you why you're separate, why you're different. Strangely, why you're special, but not special in a good way, special in a negative way. But we are all fully connected to Source. Each night when you sleep, you're going back home. In fact, there's a part of you that is always staying home. And when you pass on from here, you're going home. And where did you come from? Home. And what do you have inside of you? Home. So whether that's working with me as your coach to bring that out, whether that's working with yourself, it's inside of you. That greatness is inside of each and every one of us. Jessica and I got knocked on our butts in Maui much more recently than we care to admit. I think it was only less than 5 years ago now. Absolutely knocked flat on our butts. And now we speak before hundreds of thousands of people daily. We've got the YouTube show, we've got the iTunes shows, we have a book deal, we're going to be on Unity Radio, and on it goes. We're going to have a program to raise the vibration of the earth with millions and millions of people. Are we special? No more special than you. Are we different? Well, we started doing the work, which you're doing by listening to this here. Are we magicians or alchemists? Yeah, but so are you. To use, and I'm not much on quoting the Bible or Jesus, I tend to go in a non-religious direction, but I believe it was Jesus who said, to completely butcher his phrase, all of you have the power that I have within me and more inside of you. All of you have the power that I have in you and more. Each and every one of us. If you knew who you truly are, it would blow you away. And I want to challenge you to simply love yourself up and believe you have even an inkling of this power of the bush as you are the rose or the bud on the bush. If you can recognize even an inkling of this power inside of you, then you can dust yourselves off. You can spray paint yourself with glitter if that's what it takes to make yourself feel good. And then step forward into your greatest you, knowing almost anything is possible for you in this world. So I love you so, so much. I look forward to seeing you next week. If you're interested in coaching, I look forward to seeing you potentially even sooner than that. I'm laughing because I'm going, oh my God, how quickly is calendar going to fill here? But I love you. I love you. I love you. You are capable of such magnificence and such greatness. You are me. I am you. We are one. And Jessica, I love you so much, and I cannot thank you enough for everything. It's not that Jerry Maguire, you complete me, because there was nothing to be completed. I was whole. But in the words of Hendrik Mako, our dear friend and one of my groomsmen, I was nowhere without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So love you guys. Have the most beautiful, beautiful week ahead. And unless Jessica has anything to add, shine bright.
Nope. For those of you who weren't able to get your questions answered, we'll be back same time next week. Mm-hmm. Try to make it a little bit earlier. We actually went really long tonight.
We did. And can you, if you have a question that didn't get answered tonight, can you put it down below, not just in the chat window, but would you mind putting it in the comments for the video? Because the chat window can disappear, but the comments will be there. And I will do my best to get to everybody's question. Yeah, we ran 20 minutes over. It's pretty cool. To get to everybody's question on next week. All right. Love you guys. Have the most amazing week ahead. We'll keep you updated. Oh, my God. Instagram.com. Almost forgot. Inspire Nation Live. We are posting our latest on Lumi, on Sir Meowsers, on the love bug, on the hummingbirds, on all of the creatures in our lives, and especially on the journey of Nacho Mole Frisque. So come on over to Instagram.com/Inspire Nation Live. If you look us up on Instagram, you might find our old Instagram account, which we never fully got set up, so has no post on it. That's Inspire Nation Show. Instead, you want to be on Inspire Nation Live. And make sure you subscribe, and click on that notifications bell to make sure you hear about our next great show coming up. Love you guys so much. Be well, shine bright, all the hugs and love in the world. You did awesome, Pookie. Thank you, thank you, thank you.